Hi everyone, welcome. I hope you've all had a great week so far. I hope it's been productive. I hope that you've achieved something that you've been wanting to achieve. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about 3 psychological reasons that you might be suffering from social anxiety or low confidence levels. So I'm sure a lot of you have probably had low confidence levels at some point in your life. I know I certainly have. I was always very introverted as a child. I was really shy, I was really quiet, to the point where I wouldn't even go and ask for something in a shop if I needed help. That's how shy and quiet I was. The way that I sort of overcame it personally was just through experience. I just got a lot of practice. I got my first proper job in Primark, and in that job I was thrown in at the deep end and I didn't really have a choice but to be confident or to act confident. And so that's what really developed me to this point I'm at now. I'm still learning, I'm still not the most confident person you'll ever come across, but it's a process and it does require some self-work and some reflection and some intentional thinking. Once you understand a little bit better, it might give you the tools you need to switch things all around and help give yourself that confidence boost. So firstly, we've got the spotlight effect. So the spotlight effect is the phenomena where we think people are looking at us a lot more than they actually are. So as human beings, we have a tendency to pretty much think everything revolves around us, and that is no different for social situations. So for example, when you're out in a large crowd, if you've got something that you might feel a bit insecure about, you're more likely to think that everybody else is looking at that thing. So for example, you might think you've got a large nose, so in which case you will believe that everybody's looking at your nose, when in fact it's not the case. There have been studies done to prove this. I'm not going to go into too much detail with the studies. You can find them by doing a quick Google search, or I'll leave the link to them below in the description box if you're interested to check them out. So in one study, they had somebody wear what they classed as an embarrassing t-shirt, and then at the end they asked everybody, did you notice this person wearing an embarrassing t-shirt? And only 25% of people in the room actually noticed. So that's a pretty low number. So if 100 people were in the room, that means only 25 people noticed out of those 100. So it just goes to show that people aren't focusing on your flaws, they're not staring at you, they're not watching you as you walk down the road, they're just probably in their own mind, probably thinking that people are doing the same thing to them. So once you acknowledge that people aren't looking at you as much as you think they are, that will help you to improve your confidence and not feel as much as the spotlight is on you. The second psychological reason that might be holding you back is the negativity bias. The negativity bias is simply the fact that we are more likely to remember and recall negative events than positive ones. So if you've had 100 positive social interactions but you have one negative one, you're most likely to remember that one negative social interaction, and it will always come to the front of your mind when you're in that social situation. So for example, if you were speaking to somebody once and they probably didn't respond to you, and you might have felt a little bit embarrassed whether they noticed or didn't notice you were talking to them in a social group, and that stuck with you, that is more likely to be the first thought that comes to your mind when you're again in another social situation, and the other 50 times where you had a good conversation and felt like you were involved in that conversation. Understanding that there is such a thing as a negativity bias, and that the way that our brains are wired is to focus on these not so good situations, hopefully that will help you to understand that just because you have got that one negative experience doesn't invalidate those other positive experiences that you have had, and it doesn't mean that your next experience will be negative either. So the third psychological reason that might be holding you back in social situations or with your confidence levels is the pink elephant paradox. It sounds silly, but when I explain it, it will make a lot more sense. So if I told you not to think about pink elephant, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? It's a pink elephant. And that is because when we try to suppress a thought, our brains think, hold on a minute, what's going on here? This is something we need to focus on, and it will keep bringing it up and up and up. This is something that happens a lot in people that suffer from OCD. The more they try and ignore the intrusive thoughts about cleaning or ritualistic behaviours, the more they will have those thoughts, and this can be applied to confidence and social situations. So for example, if you have a thought that I'm a shy person and you're trying to break out of that, that thought that you're trying to suppress about you being shy is going to keep coming up and up and up, and it's all you're going to think about. All you're going to think about is I'm shy. So the way around the pink elephant paradox is acknowledge the thought, acknowledge the emotion, say yes, I'm a shy person, but that's okay, I'm working on it, and then you're able to move forward. But focusing solely on the negative thought or the negative emotion is only going to make you keep thinking about it more. So I hope you found these psychology theories interesting. I hope that you'll be able to apply it to your own lives, and I hope that you'll be interested to do your own further research. I'm going to leave the links to all the studies in the description box, and I hope that next time you have a negative thought, or next time you might be a bit worried to go into a certain situation, or you might not be feeling so confident, I hope that one or more of these theories pop into your head and you're able to take a moment to think about it and decide, is this really me, or is this just my brain playing tricks on me, trying to make me think about these negative thoughts? Or is it just me imagining people are looking at me and actually they're not? Leave me a comment down below if you find any of these theories interesting or helpful, and if you have any ideas for future videos. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.